Morning, Director Sir, and faculty and young friends. Thank you very much for having me come here. I've come with a very flexible menu because as soon as I arrived, your director showed me how flexible everything is here. And you can interpret flexibility as chaos. If you look at our 2G spectrum issue, it can be considered flexible or chaotic, depending on how you look at it. So I also have come with a very flexible menu. All I will promise you, I'll finish in the 35 minutes that I have been told to speak with you. And so that you don't think that I just got up in the morning and come along, I've got enough charts to impress you that I have worked very hard and I've thought about my subject, which is indeed true. But listening to the opening comments this morning and the energy behind the chaos, I will not go literally slide by slide, because I don't have to deliver a curriculum, but share with you some thoughts that passed my mind as I listened to my young friends talking about the theme of this conference today. I do not know whether the Saurav Ganguly, Sachin Tendulkar, what's his name? Banerjee, Saurav Banerjee, is that right? You're standing right there. Whether you meant chaos to be positive or negative. You left me in a chaotic state thinking about that. But to me, chaos is God. And again, you may think of God positively or negatively. Chaos is far more orderly than we think. And chaos and order are two sides of the same coin. So I first of all congratulate you for choosing what is metaphysically a huge subject. But I'm sure from the dance program that there's no intention to get lost into the metaphysics of chaos, not even to the physics of chaos. Only 2 days ago, I write a monthly column in the Economic Times, and I wrote about chaos, little knowing that 2 days later I'll be ushered into the center of chaos. And I wrote about chaos because chaos is a natural state. You have to create order out of chaos, but there's a circularity in it. I'll give you an example. I'm sure all of you arrange your cupboard periodically. Most of you. There are a few perpetually disorderly people, and they must be richly present in this campus, I have no doubt. But most of us spend once out of 4 or 5 or 6 Saturdays trying to rearrange our cupboard, or our library, or our CDs, or whatever minimal possessions you have. And if you think about it, why is it necessary? Even the most orderly person you can find, all people are not created equally. Some people are very methodical and systematic, and some people are perpetually chaotic. They need to rearrange their papers, their books, and so on. And this is what in physics we call entropy. Entropy means a natural state of disorder. For those of you who studied physics, and those of you who haven't, you don't know what you missed, go back and look at your Wikipedia or Google and find out what is entropy. Now, entropy is a natural state. So every time you put something into order, it will get into disorder again. And that led to the laws of thermodynamics and all the good things that he mentioned, James Watt, steam engine, everything. Thermodynamics is the heart of physics and engineering. The second thing about chaos is, the moment you understand the context of chaos, then it doesn't look chaotic anymore. If you did not have the principles of gravity and the planetary system, thanks to Copernicus, Galileo, and Newton and everybody else who followed them, and you just saw all these planets going around in elliptical circles, it will look chaotic, wouldn't it? But the moment somebody tells you that there is something called interplanetary gravitational force, there's a method to these ellipses, and that they follow certain laws, it doesn't look chaotic anymore. There's a very fine book called Codenamed God by a gentleman called Manik Bhaumik. Those of you who have a little time to explore. Manik Bhaumik was from my college, though he's much senior to me, so I don't know him personally, which is an IIT. He had a very poor background, economically speaking. But poverty also brings with it certain virtues. He was a brilliant student. He got in the 1950s. I'm a product of the 60s, so he was at least 10 years older than I. He went to the US with scholarships, and he became such a sound student of physics that he invented the laser. And many of you might have had LASIK, or may planning to have LASIK eye surgery. An Indian is the originator of LASIK eye surgery. So you can imagine that he became very famous and very wealthy. And then, as he has written in his book, he left his poverty behind him. He left Tamluk district in West Bengal behind him. And he was the most eligible, wealthy bachelor in Los Angeles. And he has got in his book published a number of pictures with some of the most gorgeous women of Los Angeles on his arm. And he led a very hedonistic life. Suddenly, at the age of 50 or 55, he started to look inwards to see what is the meaning and the purpose of life. And then he used the principles of physics